What's happening, fellas and ladies? We are back for the Rebels Arca Series of Bubba's Ball Tire Outlet. Arca Series here at Twin Ring Motegi. We're in Japan, as we've got about a minute left in this race. First round of the playoffs. Let's check them out. Jonathan Cofield, currently your points leader. You see everything is reset. There's your playoff drivers. They get set to take on a tricky, wild, long track. And boy, is it going to be a crazy race tonight. I do not know how this is going to play out, but there is your point standings. As it going to the next page, your top 14 drivers are in the playoffs. And I think that's right anyway. But regardless, is it really 14? Yeah, I think so. So your top 14 drivers, I have to look at this myself. It should be the top 12. Let's go with the top 12 here. I'm not sure why why it shows 14 drivers, but it should be Chuck Phelps there, your last one. So these drivers going to be fighting it out. As qualifying is just about over, as I'm trying to figure out what in the world is going on. We'll deal with that in time. Let's go ahead and get the grid up on the screen, hopefully, as everything kind of falling apart here. What's going on? Hello. Well, I promise we're going to show something on the screen in a minute, as this thing has completely lost its mind. I can't get anything to show up. There we go. Let's go. Let's get into the grid already, as we've just having a great time. Your Chuck Peg Leg Pole Award winner for this race is Jonathan Cofield. Starting outside the front row is Michael Nash. Row number 2 is Kieran Church and Andy Kurtz. Row number 3, Michael Kostick, Cody Bain. Row number 4, Tyler Rice and Travis Bieber. Row 5 is Chuck Phelps and Mickey Isaac. 11th to 12th is Brandon Wallace and Aaron Adcock. Kyle Roberts and Stephen McDonald. And bringing up the rear of the field is the 62 machine of Chris Reese. Well, let's talk about the race. What's going to be so wild and crazy about this? Well, I'm going to tell you. It is going to be crazy. 100 laps here. There's almost 40-second laps. Why are we doing 100 laps? That's Brandon Wallace for you right there. 65% fuel. And then, I can't believe it, 3 total sets of tires here tonight. I just don't know what to say about it. It's going to be tough, man. I just don't know how you're going to be able to. I don't know what these guys can do on fuel, but it seems like it's going to be a tough night. 100 laps here is a long, long time, and you only got 3 sets of tires to do it, so you better take care of them, as it's going to be really, really, really tough. Let's look at the track. Twin Ring Motegi, the oval layout, obviously. 1.5 miles, oddly enough. Doesn't seem like it, but that's what it is, I think. I'm pretty sure it is. I'm starting to second guess it, but located in Motegi, Japan, opened in 1956. I'm not real sure. For some reason, I feel like that's wrong. But either way, it's a weird track. You see, it's got one side that's just one turn that's way wider than the other, or way longer, I mean. So you're going to have to be prepared to deal with both ends of the track. But Jonathan Cofield going to lead us down to the green flag, as he's currently your points leader, trying to take home the championship this season in the Arca Series. And it's a good way to start off this particular playoff run. Pace car pulls off. Jonathan Cofield going to lead us down to the green flag. Michael Nash outside the front row, and green flag is out here in Japan. So the first thing that comes to mind as they go barreling down into turn 1 is you better save your stuff, you do not have enough time, or you don't have enough tires to push it too hard. I don't know what's going to happen here, how this race is going to play out. 100 laps is a long time. So, going to have to take care of your stuff. Cofield out to about a half-second lead as we watch the battle between Caustic, Kurtz, and Bohm as they battle it out for 4th position. Caustic able to take that position early. Caustic really good here. Didn't qualify well, but I expect to see him up at the front before this thing's all over with. Everybody getting through. That much issue. Whoop. Still hanging on to that spot. Oh my goodness, somebody's in the wall. Kieran Church. I can't click on him. Kieran Church gets into the wall hard as we are still under green flag action, but man, comes off the corner. It looks like he might have overcorrected into the wall, but Kieran Church in trouble early here in the Arca series as he is all the way back in 15th position now. Scary moment for the field, but look how wide this track is. Everybody able to avoid him, so that could have turned out way worse than it did. But we'll see if he decides to stay out and try to make it to a caution. Just don't think you're going to get a caution, so I'm not really sure. That car looks like it's pretty tore up on the right front. We'll see if he's able to keep pace. That car's still driving good. You definitely want to try to limp it around to that pit stop, but definitely don't want to be expecting a caution. I just don't think he's going to get one tonight. I think it's going to be one of those green flag type races. Got some nice battles going on all over the track. Kyle Roberts, Chuck Feltz, Brandon Wallace back here with Chris Reese battling it out. This here is for 10th position. Oh, Kyle Roberts has to check up just a little bit and move Chuck up into 10th. Man, he is moving quickly. Up front, Michael Caustic has made his way up to 3rd place. Starting to hunt down 2nd place, Michael Nash. Take a look at the standings as they run. We'll have to fix that. I don't know what's going on. Travis Bieber is not in the playoffs. I'm not really sure why he even has points. He's not even listed in the document. So we'll have to try to fix that during a break or something if we get a caution. But right now we're going to stick with the actions. We're kind of getting spread out. Nobody's really running away. But you don't see a whole lot of action out on the track. Cofield out to about a 1.1 second lead over Michael Nash as he tries to track down that 58 machine. Playoff drivers, Jonathan Cofield, Michael Caustic, Andy Kurtz, Kieran Church, Josh Oswald, Cameron Hamilton, Michael Nash, Mickey Isaac, Matt Clement, Brandon Wallace, Steve McDonald, and Chuck Feltz are your 12 drivers here tonight. So keep an eye out on them, see how they fare tonight. It's starting to pull away a little bit now. Had a really nice couple quarters. As Caustic trying to run down Michael Nash last lap. They ran pretty similar lap times, but this time you can see Caustic gets a really nice 3 and 4. Michael Nash seemed to really struggle through that particular corner. As Caustic and Andy and Cody able to make up some time there. Well, as we cross into lap 10, I thought maybe this race would go a little bit long, but it seems to be clicking off pretty quickly. I think I said that's the last time we raced at Motegi, that I thought it was going to be a long race, but we're already a tenth of the way through this one, and we're going to do that 10 more times, and we'll be there. Looking back here, Tyler Rice on the back bumper of Aaron Adcock. Aaron has been on the move, but Tyler maybe looking to take that position back. Aaron has moved up 5 spots where he started, so he is rolling. Different lines going on. Got some guys running down at the bottom, some folks driving in a little deep, letting it push up a little bit and trying to dime in the corner. As we got a battle for second place. Michael Kostick right there on his back bumper. Kostick not playing around. This playoff season seems to be Michael Kostick's. I mean, he is really coming alive. I mean, he's been strong all season long in every vehicle that he drives, but here towards the end of the seasons, we get into the playoffs, he is really stepping it up a notch. And Michael being one to beat almost every week, and he takes over the second position without much trouble. Michael Nash just kind of lets him go. Live to fight another day. He ran you down. Definitely going to be faster. Now Kostick going to set his sights, try to run down his teammate, but his teammate is out to a 2-second advantage over Kostick. Be a little bit of work to get around him. Back here in the back, got Christopher Reese, Mickey Isaac, and Brandon Wallace along with Chuck Phelps. Chuck's starting to fall back into the clutches again. Look here at this battle. Chris Reese did not have a good night in the Grand National Series at Lime Rock. So he's looking to make up for it here tonight. So he's going to dive down to the inside of Mickey Isaac. We'll see what that high line can do versus the low line. As you can see, Chris not able to get back into throttle as well as Isaac could. So Isaac able to defend that position and holds on to that 10th place. Check these driver standings to see. It's still showing Travis Beeper understand. We'll do a little reload real quick, see if we can't get this back. We'll get it on timing and scoring back up in just a second. As we continue to watch Chris Reese try to keep up with Mickey Isaac. Mickey seems to be driving in a little bit differently, getting off the gas a little bit sooner, not driving in as deep where Chris Reese is trying to drive in a good bit deeper into the corner, having to make up for the extra on exit, where Mickey really backing the corner up, letting it roll, and getting a better run off the corner. There we go. All right. As Chris Reese gets really close to the back bumper of Mickey Isaac, these guys are racing hard. Let's go check out some more battles. Looks like Tyler Rice and Aaron Adcock battling side by side. This is for the 7th position. These guys been around each other for a while, so Tyler trying to make that move, but Aaron just battling back on the outside, just keeping him from being able to get to that, get past that 23 machine. Tyler going to give it another go, gets a nice run down the front straightaway. Yeah, there he goes, dives down to the inside, and it's like maybe the 23 just let him go. Oh, it was like Aaron going to try maybe to do a little crossover. Knew that the dive was coming, but looks like Tyler Rice got a little bit better tires at the moment and able to take that position. So Tyler Rice up to the 7th position. Somebody starting to fall back just a little bit is Michael Nash. He started in 2nd, has lost a spot to Kostick, and now Andy Kurtz is starting to run him down just a little bit. So don't really know what the issue might be, but maybe just hanging back, trying to save his stuff. He is in the playoffs as well, so he's trying to maintain these positions the best he can, but you got to be there at the end. This, like I said, this race is likely to go green. It's going to be, I'd be surprised if we had a whole lot of cautions tonight. So, got to make good decisions on the track. Got to get on and off pit road really well, and not make any mistakes. You're just not going to be able to do anything to cover your mistakes tonight, I don't believe. Kurtz gets a nice run through the middle of the corner. It's going to have position on the 27 off of turn number 4. They drag a race down the front straightaway, but that outside line able to keep the momentum up. And he does have position into the first corner. See if he can clear him by corner exit. Not quite. Michael Nash going to fight back a little bit. Not going to make it easy. Where's the fun in that? I think Andy Kurtz will have the position, so move Andy up into the 3rd position. The 27 tries to fight back a little bit, just not quite able to do it at that angle. Andy just had the much better entry, and so move Andy Kurtz up to 3rd position. Biggest movers so far is Aaron Adcock, Chris Reese. Aaron, just saw him lose a spot to Tyler Rice. He sits in 8th position. Chris Reese, he is up to 11th. So some guys moving, but that person right behind them, Michael Kostick, he's the one that's really been making up some nice ground. He's still 2 seconds back from his teammate. And we'll actually take a look at these two drivers. You see Jonathan Cofield followed by Jonathan Cofield. How about we do this? And you see the last lap time about dead even there for the top 2 drivers from Bandit Motorsports. Teammates, so obviously sharing plenty of info, but tonight it looks like they're going to be battling each other. It's always tough to be in. I don't know. It's hard for me to say. I really enjoyed racing any of my teammates that I've ever been on teams with. That's always really fun, but it also can be a little scary as see Jonathan Cofield blinking out a little bit. Hopefully that doesn't become an issue. But it's always tough because, you know, if it's somebody that you're not just great friends with or teammates with, and he is having a big issue with internet at the moment. Makes me nervous for the points leader. But yeah, I mean, if you're racing your teammate, you know, you race hard, but you race with a little bit more respect. You give them a little bit more room. You're not going to really push it too hard and risk taking each other out. But you still want to beat your teammate, man. It just that's the competition, the competitor in you. Just can't let that go. We've seen it you know, throughout history where teammates, you know, fighting to be the top dog on their team, race each other sometimes a little bit harder when everything's on the line. So we'll see how that all that goes. It looks like Kieran Church going to come down pit road as I'm talking a bunch of nonsense at this point. Kieran Church come down pit road, trying to split this race into thirds. Oh, and he actually exits the car. So Kieran Church out of this one. Travis Bieber and Cody Bain. Travis has gotten to the back bumper of the 78 machine. Cody's been really, I mean, having a great night. He's up there battling with the 3 in front of him, starting to fall back just a little bit. As you hear Travis shifting just a little bit, you can hear him shifting down to third. Just hear how difficult it is to get back on throttle. You just never know, because the way these big tracks work, where you have a lot of momentum, you have to get down into the corner and, you know, get woed up enough. And when you get back on throttle, you don't play around with the throttle. You're on it. You're full throttle. And then if you get on the gas too soon, you run the risk of having a lift off the corner. When you do that, you see just how long these straightaways are. That's a lot of speed, so don't want to do that. It takes patience. Got to know exactly when to get back on throttle. That way you get the best momentum down the straightaway. And you see Cody starting to pull back away now. Still don't know what happened to Kieran Church. We might try to pull him up in here and see what happened. Talk to him. See if we can find Kieran. All right, we have Kieran in the booth. Kieran, you pulled off the track, had some sort of issue. You got a copy? Kieran Church, Eddie in the booth, you got a copy? Looks like Kieran has called it tonight, so not really sure what happened to him. We'll see if we can't get a hold of him and see what's going on. But Kieran Church out of this one. Kieran, a playoff driver, so that's it's not what you want to start off the playoffs. And go back to this big old gaggle of cars. This is from 9th all the way back to 14th. As Aaron Adcock having big problems. So I'm not really sure what he's got going on. But Aaron falling all the way back to 14th. If we can go on board and see what's going on with it. I was wondering maybe there was some fuel saving or some sort of issue going on, but I don't know. Maybe Aaron just got into the wall or something. I don't see any incidents, but man, the last few laps he's just falling like a rock. So 23 struggling right now. You see he's getting a little bit loose off the corner, so tires may be shot at this point. Right in front of him though, Kyle Roberts, Brandon Wallace. Side by side. So with 3 sets of tires, you know, I expected maybe to see somebody come down pit road. You know, everybody's best lap is in the low 37s, and they're currently running mid 38, so about a second and a half difference in new tires versus old tires. You know, with a 37-second lap, don't know, you know, really how far they're planning on going is it's like Tyler Rice and Cody Bain come down pit road. So that answered my question right as I was talking about it. You see the 78 and the 6 deciding to split this up in the thirds. I would imagine with the fuel limit, they're not able to make it to halfway. So if you can't make it to halfway, might as well split it into thirds. And you know, the danger is if you do it this way, you're going to pit a little bit after lap 66. If we stay green, the danger is if you get a caution, you're not going to have an extra set of tires. So I don't know. It's a tough call. If it goes green all the way, this is the right call. If there is a caution at some point, you know, if you run a little bit longer, that may be the better choice. So it's hard to say here what the right decision is. If they had an extra set of tires, I'd say run it, go ahead and come on down. Split it in thirds, no question about it. But, you know, if you can run it long and make it, you know, if you can do it on one stop or something like that, you might run it long, see how it goes, see how this thing plays out. Michael Nash comes down pit road, so everybody's coming down at right around the same time. So I imagine fuel is getting pretty low on these cars, so looks like it's going to be a two-stopper no matter what. And here comes the leader, Jonathan Cofield, down pit road to make his first stop of the night. So we'll see where Caustic, who is running in second place, is currently in sixth. As he comes around, we'll see where they stack up after everything is all said and done. But your new leader, as it stands right now, is Travis Bieber. Still waiting on him to make his pit stop. You see Michael Nash come out of pit road in the 27. So expecting to see Travis come down pit road at any moment. And there he goes. So he comes down pit road. He's going to give up the lead to Chuck Feltz, who, as he comes around, should lead the lap, and that is a big move there to get that bonus point. Chuck in the playoffs, so that should be helpful to him as he leads that lap. That 1 point could mean all the difference between making it to the next round and not. So Chuck's staying out a little bit longer. See Aaron coming out of pit road. So out on the track, though, Caustic has been able to, pitting a little bit early, get to the back bumper of Cofield. He wasn't able to run him down, but now they're a little bit closer. Caustic had to make up a couple spots. So now they're on equal footing. So we'll see what Caustic can do here with Cofield over this run with those fresh set of tires and sort of being on equal footing. The first run, especially at a track like this, you're not too super familiar with. That first run's all about checking your tires. You get out there and you run, and while it's a fixed setup, you really can't do anything other than change a brake bias steering ratio. You can alter how you drive. You can go down pit road. You can say, okay, I gained a couple spots, but I wasn't as fast as I need to be. And you go down pit road and you check the split on the right sides. If the right front is worn 5% more than the right rear, or maybe even worse, maybe you alter your driving style if you can, and try to burn the right rear off a little bit more, keep it even, and keep that tire wear a little bit better on the second run. So you can make adjustments as far as how you drive the car, and so that first pit stop can be crucial to having that data to know how to adjust maybe your driving style, find a different line, something that won't maybe burn the right front or burn the right rear up as much as before. So that's what these guys are dealing with right now, checking that, going, ooh, maybe I drove a little bit. From Aaron Adcock, maybe I'm looking at that going, man, I did good. I got up through the field, and then I started falling like a rock. So what did I do wrong? What did I burn up? Try to get that figured out on this second run. Check in on this battle for fourth position. Michael Nash on the back bumper of Cody Bain. Gonna dive it down into the inside. We haven't. If that top line can keep the throttle in it, haven't seen that move really work. But Cody actually slides up off the quarter, so Michael Nash able to stay down on the bottom. And Cody going to defend that position. You see Michael Nash get a little squirrely as he was not really expecting Cody to come down in front of him and had to check up a little bit more than he maybe wanted to. But Cody doing a good job of defending that fourth position. With it being looking like it's pretty difficult to pass, it's worth it to fight off. Try to fend these positions and hang on to them. Looks like Michael Nash gets a great run through 1 and 2 that time. Cody not going to be able to get in front of the 27, and 27 drives through the corner really, really well. The center of the corner, he did a great job. Cody hanging on. Still side by side, not clear just yet as they cross the start-finish line. Michael Nash does have the position. And once you get this far, seems like that bottom line's a little bit better in this corner. If you're that far ahead, and it looks like, yeah, Cody going to go real wide off the corner. Actually going to grab a little bit of the wall. He keeps going, but Michael Nash up to fourth. 10 seconds off the lead, though. He's got some work to do if he's going to run down Andy Kurtz, who he's about 6 seconds behind. Haven't talked too much about Andy Kurtz. He's just been he's on an island at the moment. He's 3 seconds behind Michael Kostick and about 6 seconds ahead of Michael Nash. So the field really spread out at this point. Got about another 20 laps, 20 to 25 laps before the next set of pit stops, as everybody splitting the race into thirds. Go back here and check on Chuck, who stayed out the longest out of anybody, and you can kind of see the differences. He is about 3.4 seconds back A little bit slow getting on and off pit road. That may have hurt him a little bit, but definitely running a little bit longer than most. They were able to take advantage of those new tires and put him back in 14th position. So he's got some work to do. He's about 3 seconds back from Brandon Wallace. Chris Reese getting a run on the 35 of Kyle Roberts. As both these drivers try to run down the 68, Kyle Roberts going to drive deep into the corner. Chris really putting the pressure on him. Chris actually overdrives just a little bit, but so did Kyle, so that's going to give Reese the position as they go down the front straightaway. They both drive it pretty deep down to the corner. Let's see if Kyle can hold the outside. Looks like he's sliding back. So Chris Reese takes over the position and sets the sights on the 68 of Stephen McDonald. Let's see where the point standings are as they run. Cofield, Kostick with the lead, Andy Kurtz. So pretty much where they run, you see Stephen McDonald there in 5th position. Steve McDonald really making up some ground with those guys who are out and running in 8th position. So Steven having a good night. If he can finish where he's at or a little bit better, he'll set himself up real nice for the next round of playoffs. Up front, it is still Jonathan Cofield, Michael Kostick. Those drivers were running nose to tail, but Cofield, man, has really done a great job so far as he has really started to pull away from the field multiple times. Kostick short pitted a little bit to try to maybe undercut him, wasn't quite able to get around him, and so now the new tires, a couple laps fresher, are starting to pay dividends for Cofield to see just slowly pulling away from his teammate. It's Cofield with that clean air, probably about almost 2/10, a little bit under 2/10 faster last lap. Looks like we've had a retirement from the race. Cody Boehm out of this one. He goes down pit road and just calls it quits. So not really sure what happened to him, but already 2 people out of this one. Cody Boehm, not a playoff driver, but Kieran Church was. So interesting to see. Love to know what's going on. On board with Brandon Wallace for a lap as he's trying to run down that 23 machine. He's got that steering wheel over pretty far to the left, and you see he really unwinds it as he comes off the corner. So you definitely you see the difference in driving. I wonder if does a better job in turns 1 and 2, but seems to really dive it down in there in 3 and 4. So these corners are really long. Got to get as much speed as you can out of them, but watch as it goes down through here. Quite a bit more wheel into this corner. Of course, like I said earlier in the beginning of the race, the turns are completely different. 1 and 2 is a lot longer than 3 and 4, so that's sort of the difference. You got to drive them differently. You can't drive them the same. You drive down here, you can enter in a little bit harder. But 3 and 4, you got to back up the corner just a little bit more. And 23 still trying to go at it, trying to see if anything plays out here. Just watching. We'll jump to any battles that we find. It's still Jonathan Cofield, Michael Kostick, Andy Kurtz, Michael Nash, and Tyler Rice, your top 5. Travis Bieber, Chris Reese, Steve McDonald, Kyle Roberts, Mickey Isaac, your top 10. Already 2 retirements of the race. Kieran Church, Cody Bain out of this one. As we still have a long way to go. Oh, my goodness. Ooh. My goodness. Brandon Wallace really drove it down in there on the 23. Watch Kinder Farm Ranch Wreckage rewind. It just gets in there a little bit too hot. Has to really get on the brakes to stay out of the 23. Close call there. Now Aaron has run down the 35. These guys are teammates. So Aaron going to look down to the inside. Move over and let Boss Man go, I would imagine, since he ran him down. Kyle is either struggling on tires. He may have a little bit of damage to that right side. Pretty smashed in, so I think he's got some damage that doesn't look too good at all. So if we can get a look at it. See that right side, right front. Pretty smashed in, so he has made contact with the wall at some point. Oh my goodness. Brandon Wallace going to go to the outside. That's dangerous when somebody's got damage on the right side. The 99 trying to get around him, but maybe thought twice about getting out on the outside. That's a scary move to make. He's catching him right in the center. I know that's frustrating, but looks like he's going to be able to get to the inside of him here down the back straightaway. As you look at the tower, you can see the intervals. Everybody really spread out. We've got the drivers back here that are pretty close. But everybody pretty much spread out between each other. We'll take a look at the last laps. As we can see, the speeds on the track. Got Travis Bieber, who is running about the same lap time as Jonathan Cofield, our leader. So Travis, of course, on the probably the freshest tires out of any of these bunches. So he stayed out a little bit longer. Go back and watch this battle for 10th. And Aaron and Brandon have been all over each other. Brandon's starting to reel the 23, and it seems like 23 is just struggling. Just hasn't had a good night. Started out really strong, but it passed a lot of cars, but just fell off like, really, really fast on that first set of tires, and just hasn't been able to really materialize any kind of movement here on the second run. So just struggling with the track. It's an odd track, not one that most of us go to or race at any point in time. So there's definitely a learning curve if you haven't put in a whole lot of laps here. See Aaron entering in pretty high. That way he can get back on the throttle, drive down the track, get a run down the back straightaway. I've seen a couple different lines out there. Brandon Wallace going right down to the white line, trying to hang on to the very bottom. Both of them seem equally as fast. And we've got Michael Nash here on pit road. Coming in to make his final stop. Pit road should open it up pretty quickly. As this will be the final pit stop and the final set of tires for most folks. If I'm Jonathan Cofield, who is now out to a 2.7 second lead over his teammate, I think I would stay out as long as I possibly could. Even if Michael Kosick comes down pit road, I think you still stay out as long as you can. Make sure caution doesn't come out. If you can run a little bit longer and keep that advantage, as he's starting to run into some lap traffic now. As Andy Kurtz comes down pit road. I got my eye on Travis Bieber, man. I think he has made up a ton of spots, but he is the strategy as he comes down pit road. I mean, he made up a ton of spots there after that first pit stop, and he keeps moving forward slowly but surely. So I'm expecting to see Travis Bieber up into the top 3 at some point in this race. If he continues and doesn't make any mistakes, he seems to be really, really fast. Has a good pit stop there. So we'll see where he blends back in, but he's going to have fresh tires to make it to the end, and he's going to be about a second and a half faster than everybody in front of him. So if they stay out longer, as you get towards the front, you kind of want to stay out longer, but mid-pack on back, you want to come on down pit road. And so we're going to see some shuffling, I would imagine. Pit lane. Got Chuck Phelps on it right now. Expecting to see other drivers come down pit road. Okay, you see Tyler Rice gives up the 3rd position. Get 4 tires and fuel along with Chuck Phelps, who's now in 12th. All right, 2nd place. Michael Kosick comes down pit road. I expect to see Jonathan Cofield down almost immediately after. But we'll see what he decides to do, as this will be the final stop for everybody. So once everybody pits and the caution comes out, there won't be any more pitting after that, as they are done. 3 sets of tires, 1 they started with and 2 extra. This is the final set for everybody. Kosick comes back out of pit road. Cofield's still out on the track. He's got all but 4th place, put a lap down. at this point. So if he can get a caution, if caution does come out, that would be very, very beneficial for him. But just hasn't been one of those races. As he's coming down pit road now, going to bring that 58 machine. I think Brandon Wallace should get around him. We'll see. Brandon was about 32 seconds behind Cofield when Cofield came down pit road, so we'll see how that all plays out. Now, a couple drivers who came down pretty quickly, Michael Nash and Andy Kurtz. Andy was able to make up some time on Michael Kostick. He's going to be 4 laps older tires, so it's going to be tough to make that up, but he is within a second of Michael. But you can definitely see the tire difference taking over. Brandon Wallace does assume the lead as he still has yet to make his pit stop along with Aaron Adcock. So they run 1-2 here. Just hoping for a caution if you're one of these drivers. You see Mickey Isaac going by the 99 like he's sitting still on new tires. Brandon Wallace stays out one more time. So does Aaron Adcock. So these 3 drivers pretty close. Kostick is within 0.6 of a second of Cofield. We'll see if he's able to maintain it. Just hasn't been able to match his teammate's speed all night long. Been able to get close, but not really able to get close enough to make an effort at a pass. And then slowly over the run, Cofield able to pull away from his teammate. So unless Kostick has figured something out, I expect that to happen yet again. As Cofield on those fresh tires is looking out the front windshield. That's Aaron Adcock right out in front of him. And then Brandon Wallace not too far up ahead, so Cofield will be back in the lead before too long. Aaron moves over to the inside. Most likely to let this 58 machine go. Here comes Aaron on pit road to make his final pit stop with 25 laps to go. And that gives the lead over to Brandon Wallace, but not for long, as here comes Cofield with a head of steam. Just going to blow the doors off that 99 machine. Cofield back out to the lead. Michael Kostick in tow, just slowly losing ground as Cofield able to do a better job of getting around the lap traffic the last couple laps and starting to extend that gap yet again. Interested to see how much longer Brandon Wallace can go. I think we're past the point where it would be a benefit to stay out this long. I think if you're going to get the caution, you hope to get it with a few people a lap down. But at this point, if I'm the 99, it's probably a good idea to come on down pit road. But he looks like he is going to stay out as long as he can. As it gets a little stacked up here as Andy Kurtz and Kyle Roberts trying to get around all on fresh tires. The 99 just still limping around this track. So Andy Kurtz up to 3rd position. Looks like the 99 should be coming down pit road right here. And he does. So Brandon Wallace is going to give up 4th position. That's going to give it over to Michael Nash. And Brandon Wallace coming to get 4 tires and fuel. With 22 laps to go here in this race. let's check in on the point standing, see where everybody's at. Brandon Wallace holding on to that 5th spot for now. We'll see once pit stops are over if he's able to hang on to it. But so far, Michael Nash is in a good position to take advantage. The top 3 had the bonus points, so they're going to be set for a couple races. You see Andy Kurtz, though, only 1 point ahead of Michael Nash. So those drivers doing what they got to do, but we see Mickey Isaac jump into that 5th position and actually give you more. We'll give you the top 9. Kieran Church with that early exit, going to put him really behind the 8 ball. Luckily, 3 or 4 drivers not here tonight that are in the playoffs, and so that gives him a little buffer just by starting the race. So the hole not too big he's got to dig his way out of. But you see Steve McDonald, Chuck Feltz doing a great job tonight. Those guys running 9th and 10th. As the 23 all over the back bumper of the 99. It's good grief. Aaron really likes that high entry into 1. Don't really see anybody doing that. So, but it seems to be working for him as he gets a pretty good run right here. Gets a little sideways, leaning on that right rear. But gets a nice run down the straightaway. But looking at this list, I just don't know who I would say is the favorite. There's been a lot of changes, some roster changes throughout the season. At the start of the season, I may have a different opinion. Maybe 3-4 races in, different opinion. But now, with how everything is settled, where everything's at, I don't know. It's going to be tough. I mean, Cofield has been consistent over the last 3 seasons, the best driver here in the Arca Series. No doubt about it. A couple seasons ago, having internet issues cost him the shot at the championship last season. I want to say, unless I'm getting my series confused, I want to say Jason Warren actually won last season. So Cofield's still looking to get that championship done. And if I'm wrong about that, I'm sorry. But I think that's what happened. But yeah, I don't know. I don't know who to pick here. It could go wrong for Cofield, who is constantly having internet issues, or maybe mistakes that take him out of the race. He just seems to have some bad luck from time to time. Michael Kostick has really, really been strong. Talked about him in the Grand National Series tonight, just dominating. And then here in this series has been really strong all season long. Andy Kurtz always strong in this series. Michael Nash has been really fast. Mickey Isaac. I mean, all these drivers that are on the screen right now are definitely capable of getting to the Final Four and being a threat to win the championship. So it's a hard one to call, even after losing some really good drivers about halfway through the season. That's how stacked this field was. The talent just it's deep. So it's hard to pick who I think is going to win. I think Cofield is definitely, if you're going to make odds, I think Cofield is the favorite, but it's just too close to call. I think he's got some really good tracks. He seems to really enjoy this style of track. It seems to really work for him. But, if we look at the schedule, you can see we're at Motegi. You got Wilkesboro, which I think a few drivers were really good at. Atlanta Legacy, which, oh my gosh, I cannot wait to do Atlanta Legacy to set the field for the top 8. And then Dover, I mean, Andy Kurtz is really, really good at Dover. Phoenix, sort of a toss-up. And then you got New Atlanta, which is, sort of a dice roll. So, I mean, there's just so many things that can happen. I'm interested to see how these cars race at New Atlanta. So, an odd super speedway where It's not as wide as not as long as Daytona Talladega, so it's a completely different type of super speedway package. It's a lot tighter, not a whole lot of room to go 3 wide. Tire wear is a major issue, so you have to race it a lot different. So interested to see how that's going to play out here in this series, and that's going to be the cutoff race for the Final Four. So you know, there's just too many things that can go on. That's why we watch them. And that's why we do the races, to see who can take advantage of other people's misfortune. But I really can't tell you who the favorite is. Right now, though, Cofield making his case, 3.7 second lead over Michael Kostic, his teammate, in second, and a 9-second lead over Andy Kurtz in third. Well, these two have just been going at it. Oh, these two have been going at it all night long. Brandon Wallace, Aaron Adcock just can't seem to get away from each other. I swear they've been battling. Saw Brandon almost overcook it to get in there and try to pass the 23 on the last run. Let's see what he can do here. He's got the fresher tires by about 3 laps. Let's see if he can get this pass done, get inside the top 10. As we only have 13 laps to go here in this race. Still running that wide arc into one. Get the run down the straightaway. You see how well it works. And oh, here comes Brandon Wallace again with that dive and has to really get on the brakes. Part of me feels like he's driving it like turn 1. As you see the 23 getting all kinds of loose. These boys are here to race. Hear him gas it up. I'll say I don't think you can gas it up from there and make the exit. He's going to really suffer for that one. So I'm not really sure what the Brandon trying to be a little aggressive on the throttle, but the car just not willing to do that. Here he goes again, going to do the same thing, and oh my goodness, they almost make contact. Oh, and the 23 gets really loose off the corner. Brandon driving it deep down into the corner to try to make that pass, as Aaron really taking a wide arc really opens the door for those dive bombs. And the 99 able to make that stick and take over that position. That's another position for the playoffs that will push him a little bit further up the standings. Just 9 laps to go in the Bubba's Ball Tire Outlet Arca Series. Your leader is still Jonathan Cofield by 4.5 seconds over his teammate Michael Kostic. Has been a pretty much dominant performance, as this has gone green flag the whole way. 100 laps here at Motegi. That's what we like to see. Cautions could really draw this race out, as we're just over the hour mark. So by most race standards here in the Arca Series, it's a pretty quick race. I think next week will be a little bit different story as we hit North Wilkesboro, which, gosh, what a fun track in these cars. I was fortunate enough to be able to run I was fortunate enough to be able to run Darlington last week, so we didn't have a broadcast. Did a little from inside the car, but just had a blast, man. Just so much fun to race these cars at Darlington. But if I had another choice, and if Wilkesboro wasn't in the playoffs, I think that'd have been one that I'd have to hop into and run. Just a fun combo, just the way the track flows. North Wilkesboro, just a great track. You know, I know it's sort of the cool thing to say is, oh, I love North Wilkesboro, because it used to be a track that the Winston Cup Series drove on. That's sort of the cool thing now, is to say, oh, I love North Wilkesboro. You talked about North Wilkesboro until Junior brought it up, but I will say that it is a very fun short track to race on. It's unique and has a lot of character in it. I like tracks that have a lot of character. So Wilkesboro is definitely becoming a track that I enjoy a lot versus something like Iowa, which I think is just a waste of asphalt. But that should be a lot of fun. Excited to see that race. And I would imagine it's going to be a little bit more action, as everybody will be tightly packed onto that straightaway, or that track. Going to be really hard to pass. 5 laps to go here. Cofield with maintaining that 4.7, 4.8 second advantage, just slightly faster every lap than Michael Kostick. Everybody pretty much spread out evenly. Not really any battles to cover, but Aaron Adcock coming down pit road, made some contact with the wall. Let's see if we can go back and see maybe what happened there. You see he was already in the wall there. It goes down to the corner and just loses the front end and just can't get it back once it gets caught like that. The 23 takes big damage and comes down pit road to get that fixed. With just a few laps to go. Right in front of Cofield, that's Christopher Reese in the 7th position. So 7 cars on the lead lap, and once the 58, if he decides to push it and get around the 62, that will leave 6 cars on the lead lap. So just dominating performance. I tell you, if we had team points, if teams are more of a afterthought here in Rebels. Don't spend a whole lot of time talking about teams, but if we did, I got to say Bandits Motorsports is probably the team to beat in a lot of the series that are still running, as they seem to be firing on all cylinders. Michael Kostick laps the whole field at Lime Rock in the Grand National Series, and Cofield, man, just really covering the field here at Motegi. White flag is out. One more time around for Jonathan Cofield to take the win that he has definitely earned tonight. 5-second lead over his teammate. Really no mishaps from Cofield. Done a great job from the drop of the green flag. Comes down the back straightaway. Going to cement himself into the next round of the playoffs. Didn't get a winner in the Grand National Series as Kostick not eligible for playoffs, but here tonight in the Arca Series, Cofield's going to go down to the round of 8 as he punches his ticket and blinks out as he crosses the finish line, takes the checker flag, and there's your winner, Jonathan Cofield. Green flag to green flag, or green to checkered here in the Arca Series. So congratulations to the whole field. That was a fantastic job, as had no cautions. Really only had one major incident. That was Kieran Church, who had an issue early. All right, well, let's take a gander at the old results. See where everybody finished up. Jonathan Cofield is your winner. Michael Costa comes home in second. Andy Kurtz in third. Michael Nash in fourth. Travis Bieber in fifth. Tyler Rice in sixth. Chris Reese in seventh. Mickey Isaac in eighth. Stephen McDonald in ninth. Brandon Wallace in 10th. 11th, Chuck Feltz. 12th, Aaron Adcock. 13th, Kyle Roberts. 14th, Cody Bain. And 15th is Kieran Church, as a couple drivers just having some tough nights. As you look at the championship standings, we'll see where everybody kind of landed after the race. Cofield with a 7-point lead over Michael Kosick. Andy Kurtz just a few points back in third. Michael Nash, so the top four doing what they have to do to stay in this thing, and they finished exactly where they are in the points. Mickey Isaac, with that 8th place finish, will take over the 5th position. Brandon Wallace in 6th. Steve McDonald in 7th. 8th is Chuck Feltz and Kieran Church in 9th. 10th, 11th, 12th. I don't know that. I know there's a couple drivers that are out. That may be why they're not showing up. But those folks are out of the race, so not really much to talk about. We'll see if they can come back. And I think Matt Clement was one of them. Who else? Matt Clement, Cameron Hamilton, and Josh Oswald out tonight. So definitely some drivers who can win their way in if they want to. So let's go ahead and talk to our winners and top 3, and then we'll get out of here. Let's talk to your winner, Jonathan Cofield. Jonathan, this is Eddie in the booth. You got a copy?
Yeah, but I got you.
Man, what a interesting race. Green to checkered, no caution flags, 2 green flag pit stops, and man, you led every lap that except for during the pits, the cycles. Had this track figured out. What? How much practicing did you do? What did you figure out? What was the secret here tonight that made you so dang fast?
Very little practice actually. I just like this track. A lot of people coming middle of 1 and 2. That you got that bump there. I was running about half throttle, going over the bump so it wouldn't upset the car. That way I could hug the white line coming off 2. And it's kind of like Texas, you know. If you run it way up to the wall, you lose 3 or 4 tenths, you know, letting the car drift. So I was just kind of trying to hold it down off 2. I think me and Costic was talking. That's where I was beating him the most. Was it right off 2?
Well, I definitely had it figured out. Cossack was able to pit a couple times, a little bit earlier than you to try to do sort of an undercut, but each time not able to get past you, and just kind of slowly pulled away after that. How important do you think it was to have that fresh air? If he was able to get, undercut you and get out in front, do you think passing was pretty difficult tonight? Do you think, I know you were out front most of the night, but if you had to make a pass on somebody equal, or close to being equal, do you think that passing would have been difficult, easy? Like, what are your thoughts on that?
I think it had definitely been difficult. Just some of the guys I was catching, I was watching them, some of the guys battling for position. You could, like running the back of the field down, it takes you forever to just run them down. And then guys were being real generous when I caught them, kind of let me by. But, yeah, I purposely stayed out an extra 2 laps each time Costic pit. It's an iRacing deal, 2-lap fresher tires, that's 2 or 3 tenths, that'll help you every time. So that was kind of the plan, have a big lead and let him pit first, and then I'd stay out a couple laps. And the even 2-lap fresher tires really help on the long run.
Yeah, for sure. Well, you punch your ticket into the next round, so it's always good to get the first playoff race. If you can get that win, it takes a lot of pressure off, because while Wilkesboro and Atlanta I think are really good tracks for you. I mean, does it? I mean, it definitely. I mean, it's a stupid question, but I'm gonna ask it anyway. How much pressure does it take off just getting that win and just saying, okay, good, I don't have to worry. I don't have to worry about my internet messing up, anything like that that's gonna take me out of the playoffs. I move on to the next round no matter what.
Yeah, I'm pretty happy. Ain't gotta stress the next couple weeks. Uh, I know everybody was giving me a hard time about the blue car, so I painted everything black. So get us some good luck going and some good runs going, and I think we'll be ready for them in the championship four.
Yeah, right now you got three Bandits guys in the playoff picture here. Steve McDonald had a good run tonight, pushing him up the standings. What's the likelihood we see three Bandits in the top four come down to the end of the season in Las Vegas?
Oh, I think it'd be awesome. I know as the season's gone on, we've lost some really good racers. I really wish they were here. I wish they were a lot of the guys I've run the championship with the last 2 years, but it's always fun driving with all these guys. Great bunch of guys in this league. But yeah, I hope we can get all Bandits championship four in here. Be awesome.
Well, all right. Well, congratulations on the win. Very dominating performance. So, man, go celebrate and enjoy that. And as always, man, the floor is yours. Who you got to thank?
Racing Network, you for doing the broadcast. Always do an awesome job. Bubba's Bald Tire Outlet, Jeff by Junior Art, Kinder Farmer Ranch, Flexible Freight Solutions, Dark Course, No Neck Fast Repair, Chuck Phelps, Cofield Asphalt Refinishing, Cofield Supply and Service, my teammates at Bandits. Uh, Hell of a run, man.
Well, there you have it. Jonathan Cofield, your winner tonight here at Motegi, takes home the victory, punches his ticket into the next round, and his teammate is standing by to talk about his second place finish, 1-2 finish for the night. Pretty successful for you, Michael. What else did you need there to maybe get around your teammate?
Uh, Figure out how to drive the track right. Apparently, he kept pulling me through 1 and 2. I couldn't figure out how he was getting through there so quick. It just seemed to burn the right front up. Trying to keep up with him. So he was in his own zip code. Had nothing for him.
Well, regardless of not getting the win, you still put yourself in a good position points wise. You got to feel good about this performance. Talking about Bandits Motorsports being a really big threat to have all three drivers in the final four. Going forward, you got a couple. You got a couple tracks coming up that could be interesting. I think could be a lot of fun. How you feel about Wilkesboro? How you feel about Legacy Atlanta as you try to make it into the round of 8 here in the Arca
Yeah,
series?
yeah, I like both of them. North Wilkesboro. It's either really fun or really frustrating, and the old Atlanta is always a good time. So they should be two pretty fun races.
Yeah, were you a little disappointed tonight that the undercut didn't help you as much as maybe you were hoping it would? Normally if you try the undercut, the guy you're trying to jump over is going to pit right after anyway. But were you hoping that maybe you would be able to maybe leapfrog Cofield at some point and put him in dirty air and see if you can't hold him off?
Yeah, I was definitely trying to just get in front of him, see what happened there, but I was kind of surprised he had like 2 or 3 lap fresher tires, and kind of surprising how that just was so beneficial throughout the entire run instead of kind of evening out there.
Yeah, for sure. Well, second place finish. I mean, you lapped the field the race before this one, and you finished second here tonight, just 5 seconds behind Cofield. Man, a great night for you. Got to be one that you got to go celebrate. Maybe have a couple Jack Daniels and celebrate this a pretty successful night for Bandits as a whole, and then you of course. So congratulations, man, on second place finish. And as always, man, who you got to thank? Sponsor shout outs.
Yeah, thank you for doing the broadcast. Brandon Wallace for the series, and teammates at Bandits and everybody else in the league. It's just been fun racing.
All right, there you have it. Michael Kosick, your second place finisher here tonight in the ARCA series. Let's talk to your final podium driver, Andy Kurtz. Andy, this Eddie in the booth. You got a copy?
What's up, man?
Man, well, it's been a wild night. You know, the Lime Rock Park looked like it was a lot of fun out there. Had a good time. This one not as exciting. This track definitely lends itself to long green flag runs, very spaced out. But you were able to come home with a third place. That's pretty good if you're thinking about points. If you can't get the win, if you can get the max amount of points, that's usually a good thing. And you're able to do that tonight, come home in third. But talk about this track, man. What's so challenging about this track versus others that we go to a lot? It seems to be quite a bit different than most.
Yeah, it is a lot different, and we don't really run here too often. So this was my first race in this car, but yeah, I think there's a lot to learn about this track. I was just talking with Cofield about how he runs 1 and 2 versus how I do. He clearly he knows what he's doing, and yeah, it's such a big turn. Seems like it never ends. So and there's bumps in it too. We just ran the Xfinity car here. I think that was last week, and almost feels like a completely different track with the way the differences in the car. So yeah, sort of had to relearn it again in this car. Um, yeah, 3 and 4 is tough too. It feel like you can't get the car slowed down enough. But yeah, I mean it was cool. I always love a good race where there's green flag pit stops and a lot of green flag racing. So everyone did a awesome job racing. I think I had the most fun those last 15 laps or so with Brandon and Aaron and Chuck. They seemed to catch each other and they had fresher tires than me and we were all just racing around. It was a lot of fun. But yeah, good race all in all.
Yeah, and a good points night. I mean, you enter in the first race of the playoffs third in points, and you leave third in the points. That's a good night, especially with a race like this. One mistake can really make everything go wrong. We saw Kieran and Church get into to trouble early and not able to recover just because we're not having any yellow flags. You're not able to really recover. So it's interesting how some races, you can make a couple mistakes and recover, but tonight you had to really be super clean. You were able to get that done and come out of here with a third place finish and also third place in the points. Now, thinking about the next couple tracks, you got to feel good about your chances at tracks like Dover. I know you're really, really fast there in the round to 8, but how do you feel about Wilkesboro and Legacy Atlanta?
Yeah. I mean, like you said, definitely a good points night. I mean, I wish I could tell you I was just points racing and taking it easy, but that was all I got for them too. So, but no, still a good night. And yeah, so we got North Wilkesboro. That's a lot of fun. I've gotten a lot more races, I guess, under my belt there at that track. So I've gotten better at that track. So yeah, I'm looking forward to that, especially in this car. And Atlanta, I think Atlanta will be a lot of fun. Legacy Atlanta, that's coming up. So yeah, that should be a good one. I love mile and a halves. Dover should be good. And then Vegas, if I can make it to the Champ 4, I think should have a good shot at it. So yeah, awesome schedule. Looking forward to it.
All right. Well, there you have it. Third place finisher, Andy Kurtz. As always, man, the floor is yours.
Thanks, man. Yeah. Thank you for your awesome broadcasts. Always have a good time watching these back. Thank everyone in the league. Racing with everyone, learning from everyone, and just keeping it fun. Teammates Travis and Brett. Thank Bubba for giving us just enough sets of tires tonight. And Jeff Bod Jr. Art, Kinder Farm and Ranch, Flexible Freight Solutions, Start Course Motorsports, Snowdex Fast Repair, and Chuck Pegleg Felts for helping us.
All right. Well, there you have it. Andy Kurtz, third place in the race, third place in the points, and he moves on next week with a really nice points lead, or not a points lead, but lead over fourth place, and going to put him in a good spot moving forward, and really looking forward to those tracks. So that's somebody got to watch, Andy Kurtz. I'll tell you. I mean, I can name 7, 8 drivers that are threats to win this championship. So. And he's definitely one of them. I think a lot of the tracks in these playoffs really fit him really well. So looking forward to seeing that. As far as the Hard Luck Award tonight, we're going to have to give that out to, I guess, Kieran and Church for whatever happened to him. Still don't know. Tried to pull him in the booth and ask him, but not quite able to get out, exactly what happened. But he called it quits early, and so he is going to be the Hard Luck Award winner. As far as the Dark Horse Motorsports Hard Charger Award winner, well, that's going to go to Christopher Reese, who gained 8 spots from where he started. So congratulations to Chris Reese for winning the Hard Charger Award here tonight in Motegi. But, man, outside of that, that's all I got. I am wore out. That's been a fun night of racing. Pretty good showing all around. I mean, it's always good when you go green flag all the way. But man, just looking forward to the rest of the schedule. I think it's going to be really exciting. So come on back and watch it. As always, thank all our sponsors. Thank Brandon Wallace. Thank all the admins here, and thank everybody showing up and everybody watching. Man, it's a good community around here. Really appreciate and feel blessed to be a part of it. But y'all have a great night, and we will see y'all next week. Happy Easter.